Well, let's get right to it because he's waiting on us. I mean, we're not messing around this morning. Let's go up to BC. It's time for some spring football. There he is, the coach, Jeff Hafley. Coach, bright and early. You've probably been up since 3 a.m. working on game plans for kickoff tomorrow. Tell you what a difference a year makes, right? It's kind of crazy how we've made this transition, but hope life is good. Hope everybody's safe and healthy.
Everybody's good. I appreciate you guys having me on. I was fired up when J-Bomb said I got the invite to see you two, and I'm grateful that I get this opportunity again. It feels like forever since we've talked.
I know. The thing, though, is that I know you get up early. The show starts at 7. I know you wanted us up at 5 a.m. to get this interview knocked out because you're ready for lunch. But, man, you look at your roster offensively, everybody and their brother back, it seems like. So I'm going to let Wes concentrate on the offense. I want to know what's this defense going to look like.
Well, one, I think schematically, we've had spring ball, which has been unbelievable. I mean, we really didn't have any spring practice last year, so we kind of got right in the training camp. And I think schematically, you'll see we've been able to really implement what we wanted to last year. We were pretty vanilla last year, and with our D-line returning and all the DBs coming back. We have some guys with experience now and know what we're looking for, know what our standard is, how we're going to run, how we're going to play with fundamentals and technique. Obviously we lost 2 good linebackers, so there's some serious competition there. We brought in a couple transfers. We brought in some incoming freshmen that are already here. So I'm just really looking forward to the competitiveness to continue in training camp and see who wins some of these spots. But it's been exciting.
So the Jay McGillis Memorial game tomorrow, Coach, and Phil Jurkovec will be the guy that everybody wants to have a look at. What have you seen, and how's he gotten better from what was just a court storming, if you will, last fall when he came into this league?
Yeah, well, if you think about last year what he did, he hadn't really started a game since his senior year in high school. Gets thrown a new scheme at him. Like I said, no spring. And he had a heck of a season. I mean, you see his stats that you guys are putting up there right now. Just his command and his presence and his understanding of what we're trying to do. I mean, there's some times I look back and just smile at some of the throws he makes. And I'm a DB guy, so half the time I get mad, but then I have to realize that I'm the head coach too, so I'm actually really pumped. But just proud of the way his leadership and his command of the huddle and the offense. I think you're going to see him take a really big step next year.
You mentioned the transfer portal and having some guys come in. It's been a hot button topic across the board. How have you been able to use that to your advantage, especially given year 2 and so forth, and plugging in some spots where maybe from a recruiting perspective, it's not there yet where you want it to be, but you've got the ability to say, guess what? You can come to BC, play right now, help us immediately, get a great education, off to the races we go.
Well, I've said this before. I don't want to live in the portal. I want to recruit and I want to develop. But when a guy enters the portal, we do our homework. We'll watch the tape, and then more importantly, we check out the character. And we've been fortunate. We've had some guys, other coaches on our staff have actually recruited in the past and have known them. Like a guy like Jaden Woodby, who's come in and done an awesome job. Then we have the 2 transfers from Temple, who, Pat Kraft, our AD, was there, and he gave me the double thumbs up on both. You got to be careful. I look at it like free agency in the NFL. You got to bring people in that fit your culture, and guys that are going to, do all the little things that we ask to do. And that's what's happened here. So if we get fortunate enough to get guys like that, we'll take a look. And we have, and there's some spots we need to compete and help with. So we brought guys in at those positions, kind of like Phil last year. So I'm excited about them, but I still want to recruit and develop. That's really important to me.
And by the way, when the boss says, hey, I got 2 kids from Temple, you got to pay attention, don't you? I mean, that can't be just a blow-off, right? I mean, when the boss guy says, hey, coach, I got 2 dudes I know at Temple that could really help us, you got to pay attention.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. Plus, again, Pat Kraft's a football guy, so he knows what he's looking at. And trust him. Happy he's here. Have a great relationship with him.
Yeah.
And I'm just really looking forward to our future together, truthfully.
Coach, here's the other thing, too, and you mentioned this, and it would seem to me that a mid-year guy now compared to a mid-year guy a season ago is a world of difference. How impactful, how important do you expect some of those guys that got there in January to figure into what you're going to do this fall?
Well, I think you're going to see there's probably a handful of guys that will figure in. and, maybe not start, but have a role and help us win games next year. But it's huge. I mean, just to get acclimated to school here, schools can be pretty challenging. So to start that without the football season right on top of you, to get in the weight room with our strength staff, and then to actually go through 15 practices and learn the offense and defense or special teams, it's huge. And we had 11 of them. And they've been awesome. I mean, they've just been consumed by the culture. They're great kids. They're doing well in school. I think some of them you'll see flash a little bit in the spring game, and I'm just grateful they're here.
One of the things that, and I said this on radio in the afternoon too, that you guys, in my opinion, were really the poster child for how you go about your business during this pandemic. I mean, what your football program did to keep everybody relatively safe, healthy, so you could practice, so you could play. I mean, wins and losses, I know at the end of the day is what we add up, but the way you went about your business, Coach, I can't brag about you and your staff enough. The medical personnel, your approach, the dedication of your players to say, hey, listen, we're going to do this the right way. I assume that everything's just still cruising despite this crazy pandemic, but you guys should get a ton of credit for the way you handled it, because it was brilliant what you did.
Well, we appreciate that, and I know it's been talked about a lot, but you just got to give credit to the players. I mean, they're the ones who sacrificed, like we talked about. They're the ones who gave so much up, and they're still doing it. And people think this has just gone away, but I was hoping that we'd get to spring ball and I'd see what it would be like to coach without a mask on, or not be tested every day, or actually be able to meet in my team room. I still haven't met in the team room yet. I still have to stand back 20 yards when I talk to the team. But you just you do what you can do, and you do the best you can every day, and you have to give these players credit. It has nothing to do with me. It's all about them, and I just tell them after every practice, I appreciate all that you guys have done. I love being here, and I love coaching you guys.
The other part about this, coaching, looking back at kind of a year ago and how it morphs into the spring, the continuity of your staff and what you guys were able to do, how big a factor do you think that will be, not just in finishing this up, but once you get back into August where maybe, knock on wood, we got a little more normalcy, off-season programs, summer stuff. I mean, the continuity of the guys your players see has to be important, right?
It's everything, and you make such a big point bringing that up, and I'm grateful that the school and Pat Kraft has allowed me to keep guys. We had our DB coach. He had the chance to go be a Power 5 defensive coordinator, and he chose to stay here. Our offensive line coach had to go to a really good NFL team, and he chose to stay here. And that means everything to me. I get too much credit for any little things that we did last year. It's the staff, and I could not do anything without them, and I'm grateful for those guys.
The game tomorrow, and you just talked about you still have to go through the protocols and procedures to make sure everybody's safe. But how cool is it to actually have warm bodies in the stands tomorrow? Because after what you went through playing in empty stadiums last year, to have family and friends, that's going to be probably a walk through the tunnel and go, oh, it's great to see some smiling faces again.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to react. I might not be able to sleep tonight. I'm used to running out of the tunnel, the smoke clears, and I see cardboard to the left, cardboard to the right, and then I realize nobody's here. Tomorrow I might run out of the tunnel and be like, wow, it's loud in here, and there's, it's just parents and families. But, truthfully, I'm grateful that they're going to let our players' families in. People have asked me, what do I want to accomplish in the spring game tomorrow? I just want our players to have fun. Their families are there. It's the first time our families are seeing their kids play in over a year. This game tomorrow is about them and their families. It's not about me. It's not about the staff. It's not about winning and losing. Let's go have fun, play football, and then go be with your families after the game and enjoy it, because we missed that this year, and I missed that this year. And, I mean, even my mom and sister are going to be there, and they haven't been able to come. And I'm just excited to have them in the stands, and then for me to go see them after the game. And I want our players to feel the same way. Now, I hope Phil throws for like 900 yards and it looks great, but let's just go have fun.
Hey, wait a minute now. Whoa. You just told us 5 minutes ago as a DB coach, you don't want to see that second and get torched like that, because I know inside you'd be like, hey, boys, let me tell you something. If Jurkovec makes another completion over the middle, we're running some steps. I know you better than that. You don't want 900 yards passing.
Here's the deal. I'm not the DB coach anymore. So I told Coach Azar this morning in the locker room, I said, hey, man, I've been in your shoes. I'm rooting for you tomorrow, but sorry, man. I might pull some tricks to make sure the ball goes over your head a little bit.
Here's the deal. I really don't have a feel at all of whether Packer and Durham is being shown in the football office, but you just said you hope Jurkovec threw for 900 yards. Signetti stood up and stuck both arms in the air. LeCabo just went, wait a second.
Yeah, what?
900?
Huh?
No, Jeff. We're not doing 900. Come on, right? I mean, you're causing angst among your staff before you ever get to your staff meeting, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping they're not watching it, but I still hope we light it up tomorrow throwing the ball. You know we all want to see that.
We put a graphic up while you were talking a while ago that your first ACC game's at Clemson. Do you guys ever get a chance to play the Tigers in Boston? It seems like you've played at Clemson for the last decade. I know you just got there, but I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, you're allowed to play the Tigers somewhere other than Death Valley. I just want to make sure that's an ACC rule.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it works anymore. So whoever they put on the schedule, wherever we play them, I'm just hoping we can get there and not have any issues. But hey, we get a chance to go play Clemson at Clemson. I even think it's their homecoming this year, so they're really going to ramp it up. So we'll be excited. We went down there last year, and we gave it all that we had, and we came up a little bit short. So hopefully we can find a way to play better than we did last year, and see what we can do.
Well, you did a great job last year. We're looking forward to watching your boys this year for sure.
I got to tell you, Coach, it must be just like take a deep breath and smile because of how different this is from a year ago when at this point, I mean, we talked to you, I think, right around recruiting in January. There was a great optimism. And by the time we got to this point, we didn't know heads from tails. And you got to feel, I mean, as good a job as things happened last year, you guys have got to be just ecstatic about the opportunities now that present for this program.
Yeah, we're excited. We didn't have an off season last year, and I'm still learning, right? Because this is truly my first off season in the office as a head football coach. And it's just fun to be around the guys, be around the staff, being able to recruit from the office and not from home, being able to have a staff meeting where I'm looking at the guys, and I actually know the staff this year. But more importantly, just being around the players every day, at practice, in the weight room, having them up in the office is so different and just so grateful and excited.
Well, I tell you what, the one thing I gathered from this interview is, number one, you're doing great, and so is your team. But you mentioned Pat Kraft a couple times. We've had him on once, and we hope Pat's feeling well and doing this thing. But say it all the time. You better make sure President, Chancellor, AD, coach are all rowing the boat the same direction. And this interview, if it did anything for ACC fans or BC fans, you can tell in these 15 minutes that we've had with you that there is a directive to make football important, and you're all heading in the right direction. And to me, that's half the battle in this day and age. You surround yourself with really good people and tell them go get after it. And you've already impressed us in year one. And as I said, can't wait to see what you got coming up in year two. And always love having you on the program.
I appreciate it, guys. And you're right. You win with people, and it's Father Leahy, Pat Kraft, our staff, and our players. And I'm just grateful to have all of them, and they've given us the opportunity to compete. I'm fired up to be the head coach here, and I hope I'm able to do that for a long time, and I hope you guys keep having me back on.
You got it. Always. Hey, pull up a chair, Coach. Pull up a chair.
Hafley, I'm going to tell you one thing. It's 38 degrees. It's late April at Chestnut Hill, and you're wearing short sleeves. So I think we're going to have you on for mental toughness, if nothing else, okay?
How do you even know I have short sleeves on here? Oh, there you go.
You know why? We know why you've been working, because your skin's the same color as your shirt. You look like you're wearing long sleeves. So I know you haven't even gotten out in the sun yet.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is.
It is. You're good. You're good. Hey, we're all good, man. We're all good. Hey, be well. We're looking forward to the Jay McGillis Memorial Game tomorrow right here on ACC Network. Thanks, as always, for the time. Stay well, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. I appreciate it.